All right, so this is going to be the first part of probably a long build series. So for those that don't know, we have this 1998 Chevy Silverado, or whatever the GMC equivalent, Sierra 1500. It has a 4.3 liter monstrous big block V6. It has bad head gaskets. It's putting some combustion through the coolant, and it's not the most reliable. It has a really bad miss, and there's a bit of water in the intake when it should not be. Well, in the combustion chamber, not in the intake. I'm pretty sure it's bad head gasket, so we haven't been driving that around much since we finished the GTO, but we did take it out to go pick up our motor for the project. So for those that don't know, this is a 5.3 liter LS based motor. I know somebody's gonna say it's not an LS. Don't care, still gonna call it an LS because it's pretty much the same architecture, same motor. And if you nitpick, then you're just a nerd. So we went and picked that up today. It is the crustiest 300,000 mile sludge puppy that you could get at the junkyard. The only junkyard that we have in the Stanton area is not a you pull it, so we had to pay the extra price and paid a little bit more for this one, and we didn't really get to check it out. They took the accessories off, so we don't have the bolts for those, so that's kind of a bummer, but all that stuff's replaceable. So we're gonna clean it up a little bit. It is pretty filthy. Gonna give it a little scrub down, probably the most it's had in quite some time, and we'll just kind of continue checking it out. We took the harness off. I think they included the computer as well. I thought I saw it somewhere, maybe not. Either way, we're not planning on using it anyways, so I don't really care. We're not using the stock harness. We have a Holly that we had originally bought for the GTO, but we ended up staying stock computer on that. So we're gonna get this cleaned up, and then we'll pick up a little bit later. All right, that's stage one. That is several hours later. Some heavy duty oven cleaner, some scrub brushes. We got it pretty good, man. There was a healthy inch thick coating of oil and grime before, so now you can actually see the aluminum heads. Obviously the cast iron block's gonna be a little rusty. I don't really care. The crank pulley is rusty. They all are. Don't really care, but it's cleaned up enough that we could theoretically work on it here and there without having to put on gloves or getting our hands completely covered in oil. So well, it's been a while since we have filmed. We were actually out on the road for about 2 weeks, so we ordered pretty much all the stuff for the swap in that time frame, and now we're back home for the weekend. And we need to get this crank pulley off. So we have a cam that's going to go in. We got valve springs, got a few gaskets. We had to go get the actual proper tool to take this off. I tried with the pullers that we had, and I broke the balancer lip. So we're going to have to get one at the junkyard. We are going tomorrow, so we'll have to grab one. Get this last leg on here. That's not going. That's not working. All right. There it is. Got all of them locked in. So we just bit the bullet and got the proper tool for this. Since we have a bunch of LS vehicles, and this is probably not going to be the last time that we have to take a crank pulley off. And like I said, the 2-jaw puller, I tried just because I didn't really feel like going anywhere. I tried really hard to get that to work, but I ended up busting the lip off in multiple places. So when we go to the junkyard tomorrow, we're gonna pull one. So I'm gonna take this off now and then remember to take the tool so that we can take another one off if we find one tomorrow. And we're gonna get a drive-by-wire throttle body and pedal. Let's see, is that, yeah, that's half inch. All right. I actually have another crank pulley that we never used on the GTO. I guess we had ordered one and then the supercharger kit came with one, so we ended up not using it, so we have an extra one. All right, that's on there. All right, let me get a pry bar to stop it from spinning. There it goes. Alright, as you can see, we've made quite a bit of progress on this motor from the last time you saw it. It was a crusty boy sitting in the back of the truck. We cleaned it up. We've been gone for about 2 weeks, and now we're getting to the teardown. So one big thing with this project is we're trying not to get caught up in the while you're in there stuff, because that turns a short project into a very, very long project. So we're only replacing the stuff that really needs it, like the front main seal definitely needs it. I wanted to do the intake gaskets since it's really easy to take them out. And it was right there. You know, it's literally 6 bolts, no, 8 bolts, something like that. And then they come out. Right now we are getting ready to replace the cam. We ended up going with the Sloppy Mechanics Best Cam. And some PAC 1218 springs, even though they were very overpriced. But to be honest, they were cheaper than a lot of the other companies. There's so many fakes out there that I just wanted to order straight from PAC, and they weren't cheap. They used to be a very affordable option, but between Sloppy Mechanics and I guess just natural inflation and probably COVID, the price has gone up significantly. Not quite. All right. So we're taking the rockers out. We're going to take the push rods out, flip the motor upside down, spin it a few times, so we can lock the lifters up so they don't fall. Because if you do it this way and you don't run, you can run dowels through there and keep the lifters up. But if you don't, you have the possibility of dropping lifters into the oil pan. And then you have to take the heads off to get them seated back. And I don't want to do that. So we have it on the engine stand. Make sure these aren't, okay. Make sure these aren't bent or smushed. No, all the tops actually look good. Normally you find a few that are worn down. Those look pretty good actually. All right, got the camshaft out. Just had to hit it with my bigger purse. It did come out. No cam bearings were lost in the transaction.
Where's the shiny new one?
It's inside.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all where they're supposed to be. And according to Matt Happel, you're not supposed to look. Just close your eyes and put the cam back in, but I wanted to double check. Yeah, I mean, all of them pretty much have a little brass showing. That's just kind of a normal thing. So the cam is not scarred up. See a little bit of like wear on the, no, that's normal wear. Like this thing had 300,000 miles on it, so yeah, none of it's concerning. Yeah, there's no grooves, just normal wear. So yeah, we're gonna go grab the other cam, put some assembly lube on it, and shove it back in. All right, so when we got the new cam, this is the fanciest of the fancy Chinese cut cams. I can feel the power. Alright, you want to put them in there?
Just here?
Yep. The grimiest bolts.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that just gives you that extra leverage. So if anybody didn't know the sloppy trick, you take water pump bolts and you thread them in, same thread pitch. Then you kind of keep them out because when you put the cam retaining plate on, you can pull it back and spin it to put the cam gear back on. Alright, Liz is taking the spark plugs out. I had to take the oil pump off to line up the dots on the crank sprocket because I did not put it at top dead center before we got started. So, yeah, you know, just had to do a little extra work, but we wanted to replace the oil pan gasket and the oil pickup tube O-ring. Alright, we didn't film a ton, but we got the front cover back on, got the timing chain all lined back up, replaced the leaky boy. I'm pretty sure that's where the vast majority of the crud came from. The front main seal was leaking pretty heavily, and then the entire motor got a nice inch thick layer of grime. So we're waiting on, we're gonna do the valve springs probably tomorrow after we get back from the junkyard. We need to fire up the air compressor and put some air in there so the valves don't drop, and then pretty much ready to button everything back up once we have a new balancer, that is. Hopefully we'll grab one tomorrow. I'm also looking for a drive-by-wire throttle body, pedal, and maybe some more injectors to decap them. I don't know. We're gonna go junkyard surfing tomorrow. Maybe we'll take the GoPro too. Well, it's been a while. So I didn't pick up last week when we were done. We just kind of scrambled to get back onto the truck and get going. But we just got back, and I've just been kind of buttoning up things. We replaced the pulley. That thing was smoked. It would barely turn. Got most of the gaskets changed. Down there we got a nice new starter. Looks way too good to be on this motor currently. So I need to get the crank pulley on, and then the belt, and then I might start putting the wiring harness on. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that outside of the car. It's a lot easier to reach all the sensors. Then we're going to take this off the stand and put the transmission together and bolt it on. And then maybe tomorrow we might start pulling the motor out of the truck. Alright, got the torch cooking the crank pulley. using a little bit of science. It expands the metal. You can slap it on. It cools it off really quick. Doesn't damage anything. Everyone always thinks that it's going to hurt that rubber seal. It won't. And then I'll probably have to put the camera somewhere because I definitely cannot hold it. Hold the pulley and hold the camera all at once. Good enough. Alright, so we have decided... Ooh, wow. Lots of torque. We've decided to pin the crank while we're at it. So for those that don't know what pinning the crank is or why you would want to do that, so these are... the pulleys are press-on. That's why I had to heat it up to slide it over the crank. So when you start making a lot of horsepower, or in the case of the GTO, when you have a supercharger pulling on the accessory drive as well, it tends to spin the crank since there is actually no keyway, nothing to stop it. It's just a smooth crank pulley. So what you do is you drill into here. It's in between the crank and the crank pulley. And then you put this little tiny pin in. So that's why it's called pinning the crank. So we have all the stuff. We didn't need to buy any of it. This came with the Magnuson kit that we had for the GTO. So I had one pin left because I only put one pin in. I really don't see a need for two. One will hold it just fine. So we're gonna go ahead and drill this out, then ream it, pop the little pin in, and then finally put the crank pull. So there it is. A pinned crank. So I'm going to put the little plug in. This little guy right here. It is kind of shouldered a little bit. So it'll only go in one way, and then it kind of, yeah. And then I'm going to take something and tap it all the way in, so to make sure it doesn't interfere with the crank pulley bolt. All right, not exactly sure where we left off. Yesterday was just kind of like plugging away at little things. So we took it off the engine stand, got the Holley harness on there, got it tucked pretty well. Got the flex plate on. We need to Loctite it and then torque it down. I did some wiring on the pedals since the truck pedal is a little bit different than what we originally bought the kit for. Got that wired, waiting for the throttle body. We ordered one on eBay for like 30 bucks for drive-by wire, but it showed up as drive-by cable, so we let them know, and I guess they're sending out a different one, so we'll see what that's about. Yeah, other than that, today we're gonna start pulling the old motor from this and getting it ready. I actually need the bolts from the transmission to be able to bolt up the 4L80 to the 5.3. So we're going to start disassembling the truck, and then hopefully we can get the old motor out today, get the new one kind of bolted up, and maybe put it in. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll see. Alright, we didn't film much, but we took the whole front end off, as you can see. Started taking stuff off the motor. Took the AC lines off and saved those, because I think we're going to get an adapter kit to put the AC in pretty much in the same spot on the LS over here, and we're going to relocate the alternator over here. And then that'll allow us to run factory lines, so we don't have to get those made. Everything's coming together really well. The truck's in really good shape. So it looks like it's rusty, but I mean, that's all surface rust. We're gonna scuff it up and paint it after we get the motor out. I only had to cut one bolt, and that wasn't even because of rust. It was because my pulley puller would not get that power steering pulley off. So I had to cut one of the bolts to get it out, but that's all done. other than that, we're gonna take a break for lunch. Gotta put some ribs on the smoker for tonight, and then we gotta undo the exhaust, take the cross member down, pull the motor mounts, and see what's still connected. Maybe, yeah, I guess we'll probably have to disconnect the engine harness as well. Yeah, because I don't know what ties into the body control module, or like body module that I need to reuse, so we'll do it nicely. And then other than that, we're pretty ready to pull it. Well, motor's still in, got everything disconnected. Gotta take the there's a bolt holding each of the motor mounts on, and then the transmission mount, and we are good to roll. The wiring harness was such a pain to take out. Over there in the corner, see that bottom plug is a T25 socket, so I had to like get something in there. It was not fun, did not like it, but I didn't want to cut it because I probably need that plug to run the dash stuff, so took it out nicely. All right, yesterday we ran out of time and patience, so we have to come back at this again. Almost have it out. We were out of light, so now with more light I got it over the motor mount. I think we can do it without taking the transmission down. I really don't want to do that. And the motor mount plates are extremely hard to get to with the motor in, so we're trying to go over them. One of them, the factory one, exploded, so that was easy to take off. This side still kind of hanging on, but the little hump for the starter was kind of catching on the motor mount last night, and we just didn't have enough light. We were struggling, and we were trying to be respectful to the neighbors and not make so much noise because it's hitting it with hammers and stuff. But yeah, I think that's gonna clear it now. Yeah, so the starter area is cleared. Transmission has plenty of room, so I think from here I'm gonna put the camera down and just give her a yank. All right, after a lot of scrubbing, this stuff was disgusting before, and now, like, I didn't even know that was silver. You definitely could not read anything on there. You couldn't even see the grease fittings at all. So we put in a lot of work, but turned out pretty good. So got the back area, still gotta hit that up a little bit, and yeah, kind of just gave it a once over. Looks way better. Next week when we come back, we're gonna treat the frame and the subframe with some black, like, epoxy paint that converts rust, just to make it look better. And then also in here I removed the stock pedal and I put on this adapter for a drive-by-wire pedal, and that absolutely sucked putting in. I don't know if it was that brand that we got, but it was terrible. So that one was an eBay one. I'll have to find the name of it, but that bracket sucked. So I don't know if the other ones are better, but 10 out of 10 would not recommend that one. All right, so we got a lot done. I was kind of hoping to maybe set the new motor in this time home, but it just didn't work out. We kind of ran into some problems, but you know, it took us a little bit longer to pull this motor than I thought it would. But this one's ready to go. The Holley harness is on it. The pedal is sitting up there. I got to bolt that into the truck. Hopefully everything lines up well with the new pedal, because putting it in sucked. But waiting on the bolts for the transmission to from the bell housing to the block. Those will be coming in soon. Then we need to mate the torque converter trans motor, throw it in. We are going to paint the frame. I think I mentioned that before, but I think we're going to end this video here. It is going to be a very long video because it was like 2 weeks worth of working on this. Just been filming, so there's going to be a lot of stuff that I have to go through. It's probably going to be all over the place, but you know, it'll be fun. It'll give me something to do while we're waiting to pick up our load up in Baltimore. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you on the next one.